Today I'm going to be talking about implications of government policies and things like that. But in as much as people want to shy away, especially business mentors and people who preach about money or making money, want to shy away from politics and its implications and only focus and say no matter what happens in the economy or what the policy is, it's all about you and the decisions you make. To some extent, yes, but to a large extent, not true, because you cannot you cannot focus on only the internal economy without putting it in context. And putting it in context means it has to be in relation to the external economy. And what I mean by that is this: if you're living in a third world country, the opportunities you have compared to now, they say where there are problems there are opportunities, but look at it this way: if you're living in a third world countries, the opportunities you have compared to those living in advanced countries is not the same. It's worse. And here's why I say it's worse. Yeah, there might be opportunities to resolve those problems, but the amount of obstacles in the way is just okay. Look at it, for example. For years, we countries like Nigeria and some other developing countries never had payment processors or payment services like PayPal, and that has hindered a lot of businesses from transacting beyond the shores of their borders. And there are so many other this is when you're going online now. There are so many other things that countries in the third world cannot participate in. So now you might say there are problems and there are issues that could be fixed, but the problem is trying to fix that issue in that environment. I remember one story. What's his name? The Virgin Airlines, the owner of Virgin, Richard Branson. Yeah, he tried to set up a company or base in Nigeria. The man had to run away with with his tails between his legs. The system there is crippling. You might see a lot of opportunities. You might see a lot of problems that you can solve. You have a bright idea and whatnot, but you cannot even attempt to do it because it's. If I break it down to let's not go into the big man thing. Okay, let's not go into the big boy businesses. Let's say, for instance, okay, there are so many houses, so many properties, not just properties, so many geographical locations in the country or in those kind of countries that don't have running tap water. Okay, so the way around that is you have to dig a borehole in your own garden or yard and now pump the water through the pipe system into the house. Here's the problem: there is no constant electricity to depend on for pumping the water. You have to use generator, and servicing generator, buying fuel and all that is extra cost. That's one. Two, besides the cost of actually digging the borehole in your own house, you find area boys, we call them touts. They come to your own house to say you have to settle them. So they call it land tax or whatever it is they want to call it. So you're trying to dig a borehole in your own garden, and the area boys, as the thugs in the area, come around and say you have to pay them something for you to do it. And it's not a small amount of money. It's exorbitant. You have to go through all those kind of hoops. If there are many Nigerians I know, and there are many people from even that are living in advanced countries and want to invest or set up stuff in their own home country. If you're not there to monitor the projects to see what's going on, you'll be surprised by the time you're ready to go see your project. And there's so many stories like that, and so many people can bear me witness. There's nothing there. You've been pumping money to whoever is a project manager or your family. Most people use their family because they believe that's who they can trust. You go there after a few years and there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you're there, actually, if you go visiting every now and again, besides the cost of flight and everything, when you mark the land, you buy the land, you mark the land and say you're going to be developing. Obviously, it's not going to be you're not going to develop it as fast as people already living there. You come every now and then to check on it, and what you're going to find is that you started with the foundation, and to start putting anything on top of the foundation, the thug boys are gonna come around again, and you have to settle them. And then when you go past that level, you get to the lintel and whatever, they come back again and you have to settle down. There could be groups of thug boys now, not just one group come and say protection fee. You will see it in old Chinese movie extorting people and they call it protection fee. I think the mafians used to do that in America as well back in the day. Protection from who? From you and your people. So, and the reason I brought that about, or the reason I decided to make a video about this, is because you cannot just ignore the policies of the ruling party or ruling parties. For instance, in Ireland, a few years ago, was 3 years ago, just before the lockdown anyway, before the lockdown, I was doing investment courses. I learned of a group called Progressive Properties. I started watching all their free stuff, and then I came across Samuel Leeds in the United Kingdom. And I decided he had a free boot camp, so to speak, a two-day free boot camp on investing in property. Now, I must say it was information packed. Okay, it was jam packed with information. You actually do practical stuff where you call real estate agents yourself and pitch something. And now we don't have to follow through, but he's not paying me anything for this. But I must say the program was worth it, especially for being it was free. So I went there. And one of the strategies I thought I was going to embark on was rent R2SA, or rent to service accommodation. So basically, you're gonna rent a property from a landlord, and you agree on a price that you're gonna pay, and you assure him, one of the sales pitches is you assure him you're not gonna be the one living in it, that the home is gonna be in showroom condition, and every landlord will be happy to have their home in a showroom condition, or where it's mint, so to speak. So I decided that was the strategy I was going to use. I learned all I could about it. I came back to Ireland after 2 days. I did some more research. I said, okay, let's get into it. And then I came across what they call RPZ, Rent Pressure Zone. Just about everywhere that made sense to set up this rent to service accommodation. So basically, you're renting a house from a landlord, and you're going to fix it up and put it on Airbnb or Booking.com or whatever, and then people pay you, and you're looking for percentage wise will determine your profit. So minimum you want to look at, okay, at 30% occupancy rate, you should be able to pay all your expenses plus the rent and whatnot, but rent, cleaning and everything, and then whatever is on top is going to be your profit. And ideally, you're looking for a minimum of 30% occupancy to break even, to cover that. And some people get 70% depending on the area. Now, finding the area was a bit difficult, but then I came across another software from another program during my research called AirDNA. I'm dropping bombs for people here, so if you're not living in the Republic of Ireland and you want to go into Airbnb, check out AirDNA. It's a software, and I think it's the back end of Airbnb. You see what properties are renting, exactly what they're renting for, the occupancy rates and stuff like that. So that helps you in your research. And I said, I got a gold mine. This is what I'm going to do. And then I found out there was rent pressure zone, which means you cannot do Airbnb or service accommodation in those places unless you are living there. So it has to be your own property. Whew. And then I think this, you can't do it for more than 60 days or something like that. This was years ago now, like I said, before the lockdown. And that was the end of it, because everywhere I checked, it was either rent pressure zone or was going to be a rent pressure zone. And I said, okay, that's the end of that one, because to do that now, you have to go through some other loops again. And I'm just starting out. I said, this is too much. And this is part of what I'm saying. If you go to the United Kingdom, there are so many places. There more, which is just our neighbor here. There's so even Northern Ireland, just a few kilometers up there. There are so many opportunities you can. There are so many things you can do, including the rent to service accommodation, that you cannot do here. So the policies of the ruling party is affecting whatever opportunity you see that exists. And that's just the end of this video. Me telling you that business people or people who are focused on making money and things like that also need to tell the people the reality about what the policies are and what they kind of see, because they're just interested in selling their courses. So they're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to tell you the obstacles you're going to face. They just keep telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. But the time you did it, the policies were not the same as what's happening now. So your strategy might not work now. In that case, of course, they know it doesn't work now, but they have ways around it. Then you have to pay. So the free class, or the one you pay to enter the course or to start the course, is small nominal. It's a nominal fee to get your leg in, and then you start seeing all these things where you started that you didn't see before, and now you have to pay more to get more education to overcome that obstacle and things like that. So watch out for people who are preaching about making money and things like that. It is not in isolation, okay? It's not that it's impossible, but it's not in isolation. That brings me to the end of this video, and hopefully you picked a thing or two from what I'm saying today, and hope to catch you in the next video. Thank you.